6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Hello my beautiful ninjas and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys are all having an awesome day. For those of you who have recently subscribed to my channel, you are awesome. Thank you so much for doing so. Make sure that you do also click that bell so you're always notified every time I upload a video. And if you're new, if this is the first time that you're watching a video from me, hello, my name is Nani. I typically put up videos 3 times a week. That is the new schedule. Although you didn't know what the old schedule was. But the new schedule is 3 times a week where you can watch things from entertainment, fashion, beauty, as well as motivation, which is the main reason that I started my channel in the first place. So as you guys can tell by the title, whether you're old or new, this video is going to be about anxiety. This is a very important topic to me because it's something that I've struggled with since I was little. More when I was little because I didn't know how to identify it, and now that I'm an adult, I know what it is. I know how to kind of like help myself to overcome it when I am feeling my most anxious. So I wanted to actually come on and share with you guys a couple of tips as well. There is going to be a second part to this video which will go up on next Sunday. So with the new schedule, which is uploads will be every Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday, but Sundays will be my dedicated day simply when I talk about more deeper topics where I'm giving you guys tips, advice, stories, and just things to uplift and encourage and help you to change your own personal life. So that's the main reason why I started my YouTube channel in the first place, but I feel like I've always kind of like fallen off the wagon, and I've gotten into doing more like beauty videos and things like that, which I do like as well, but I want to go back and align myself with my true purpose for being on YouTube in the first place. So on Sundays, that's what we're going to talk about, just motivation pretty much. So if you guys have any specific topics or any situations that you guys want my 2 cents on, make sure that you leave your comments down below, or if you want, you can always email me as well if it's like a personal situation. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Alrighty, so in this video I'm going to share with you guys 3 different tips on ways to overcome your anxiety. And when I say overcome, I just mean just different things that you can apply to your personal life that will help you to kind of go through these situations and go through the times that you're most anxious. When you're your most anxious, if that makes sense, you'll be able to do it more gracefully, and it'll be easier and easier for you every time just by implementing some of these in your daily life pretty much. So I did write down some notes on my phone, like you guys know I usually do. I feel like sometimes, and the main reason that I haven't really been doing a lot of the motivational videos is because I have so much in my mind that I want to say, and I feel like when I try to freestyle it, there's so many things that are missed, and I just kind of like stumble over my words a lot. And I wish that I could just kind of like spit game to y'all, like, it was not like it's nothing, but for me, I'm a writer, so I get my thoughts out more clearly and more poetically, if that's a word, when I write. So I did write down some notes so that I remember to touch on the things that I feel like are most important in the points that I'm trying to make to y'all. Hopefully that makes sense, okay? So the first tip that I want to talk to you guys about is to meditate regularly. So I didn't want to read off what I wrote. I wanted to just kind of spit game, but I'm just going to read to you guys what I wrote, okay? Just so we can have a conversation, okay? So what I wrote about meditation is that most of us are so afraid of silence that we keep ourselves busy in the chaos. And believe it or not, your anxiety is an extension of that chaos. It's strictly a distraction from silence. But the more that you practice silence through meditation, the more in control you are of your mind, body, and soul. So with that being said, I feel like, I know for me personally, especially when I was younger and especially when I didn't know how to identify it, I feel like so many times we try to fill our days up with so much extra stuff, so many things that have no substance, so many things that do not, help us in any positive way at all. And we try to distract ourselves and allow ourselves to be distracted just so we don't have to put ourselves in a place of vulnerability. One thing that I did notice, especially when I started to meditate on a regular basis, is that in the beginning it's very difficult. just to kind of like quiet your mind and to be comfortable with quieting your mind. I remember this one time that I had this meditation kind of like experience where it was like after a couple of times of doing it to where I was able to kind of center myself. And I remember I had this experience where I was, you know, my mind was quiet. I was kind of like at peace, and it felt like I wasn't on my living room floor. Like it felt like I was in another world. And I feel like that is what I get from meditation. And I feel like the more you practice it, the more that you can get to different levels of meditation. And it brings about so much peace and harmony, and just, it strengthens your spirit from the inside out. And I feel like that's one thing that definitely helps me when it comes to kind of like being more in control of my anxiety. I'm not saying that I've never had these experiences. The other night I woke up feeling anxious as ever, and I didn't know where the anxiety was coming from. I don't know if it was like from a dream that I had or anything like that, but I was feeling so anxious. But I feel like now I've gotten so much more in control of my anxiety that when I feel it, I know how to kind of not push it to the side per se, because I don't think that that's healthy. I think that it's more healthy for you to address it in a loving way, to address it like you talk to yourself in a loving manner, like what's going on? What am I thinking right now that makes me feel anxious? Why am I feeling anxious in this moment? And then also implementing different things that help to kind of soothe your anxiety, whether it is prayer, whether it is, you know, walking, whether it is maybe distracting yourself by watching something or listening to music, and that's actually, I just told y'all what part 2 is going to be about pretty much when it comes to this series. But what I've noticed is that the more in control that I feel from the inside out, it helps me to feel more in control even when I'm feeling anxious. Because I feel like when I was younger and I didn't know how to identify it, I thought that I was going crazy. I thought that I was going to have pretty much like, I basically worried myself into panic attacks, and it's happened before. And now that I know how to center myself from the inside out, it makes it a lot easier that when I'm feeling anxious, I know how to overcome it, and I know how to kind of get myself back to the place of just being centered and just knowing that I'm okay. So meditation, and definitely meditating on a regular basis, definitely has helped me to find more peace even in the most anxious moments in my life, if that makes sense. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully I didn't just ramble on for a long time, which I know I can do, but that's definitely going to be the first tip. Add meditation to your daily routine. So that's number 1. Tip 2 would be to get outside more often. And I'm also going to read to you guys what I wrote down when it comes to getting outside. So what I wrote down is that the wonders that fresh air can do will blow your mind. When you're feeling anxious, it's because you're in your head and not in your body, and that's what makes your anxiety worse. But if you go for a walk, or sit on a bench at a park, or sit on your balcony floor and marvel at the beauty around you, it makes you realize how small your anxiety actually is. And I found this to be so true. I feel like a lot of times when you're anxious, whether you're anxious about, you know, a job interview, a date, whatever it is, you know, problems, past mistakes, whatever it is, whatever you're feeling anxious about, I feel like when you surround yourself, and outside is just the pure example of it, when you surround yourself with all of the beauty and the wonders of the world and all that we're able to experience on a daily basis by just walking outside of our doors, I feel like it helps you to kind of realize how small your anxiety truly is. And it makes you realize that you are more in control than you think that you truly are. And it doesn't matter where you live, whether you live on the beach or whether you live in an apartment with 15 people, whatever it is, everything is just a matter of perspective. So that's also another thing that it will help you to realize as well. That it will help to change your perspective, because it'll help you to realize maybe your toxic thinking and the way that you think, the way that you talk to yourself and you talk to others or talk about other things or other people, that can also be feeding your anxiety. So all of that definitely helps to shift your perspective. So just get outside more often. You'll realize that not only are you in more control than you think that you are, but it'll make you realize that you serve a God that is so grand and so big and so beautiful that you'll be okay. You're going to be okay. So that definitely brings about a lot of peace, and it just helps me to, like I said, shift my perspective, and it helps me to center myself a lot more. So that's definitely a second tip that I would recommend. And then the last thing that I also put on here as well is to try something new at least once a week. So whether it's food, adventure, whatever it is. So what I wrote for that is that your routine could be feeding your anxiety, because the mindset of perfectionism is not realistic. Preach. You have to be open to life, which means that the more that you familiarize yourself with change and embrace it, the less afraid you become of it. This is a big one for me. And the reason that I say that it's a big one for me is that I overthink, and I think that I overthink because I always am kind of like striving for perfection. And a lot of times that can be something that hinders me from trying different things or doing different things and just putting myself out there a lot more. And this definitely, I feel like just adding different things, just being okay with just being okay, just going with the flow. That's pretty much what this means. Just going with the flow, allowing things to enter your life and not blocking your blessings just because you're afraid of what will come because of this new experience. Just being okay with trying different things. I feel like the more that you're okay with that, the easier it'll be for you to not be afraid of every single thing. And it'll help you to just get more comfortable with yourself, and it'll help you to find that peace within yourself, that you're not only are you okay, but you're in control of yourself. You're in control of your mind. You're in control of your body. So once you realize that, and once you practice just doing different things and you realize how amazing these things turn out, you know, some things may not turn out well. You could try a different restaurant and the food may be crap, but the point of it is that you're okay with being open. And I feel like the more open that you are, and the more of that energy that you emit to the universe, the more greatness that the universe sends back to you. So just make sure that you get to that place where you're just open to life, you're open to love, you're open to just the wonders of the universe, and just making sure that your perspective is in a positive manner. Because of course you can be open, but if you're emitting negative energy and negative thoughts and negative, you know, words and things like that, that will also come back to you. So you will attract that as well. But if you're positive, you're open, and you center yourself, and you're just okay with just allowing the universe and allowing just God, just allowing things to just happen, just allowing it to be what it is. Stop trying to control everything. Stop trying to, you know, because for me, that's where my anxiety, a lot of my anxiety stems from. And I think that that's a lot of the same thing for a lot of people, where it's like a lot of people are afraid of trying different things because they're afraid of failure, or they're afraid of putting themselves out there because they're afraid of what people are going to say about them. So I feel like if that's where your anxiety is stemming from as well, and that's what's been holding you back from trying different things and just putting yourself out there and just enjoying life, just let it go. Try different things at least once a week, whether it's food, adventure, whatever it is that you want, a new book, new TV show, whatever. Just stop being so closed off. Stop being so closed-minded. Open and shift your mindset and shift your perspective. Go outside, be in nature, walk around, sit on a bench, sit on the floor, whatever, open your windows, whatever it is, because that will help you to realize that you are in more control than you think that you are, and that your anxiety is very small. It's not that big of a deal. And then also just making sure that you meditate regularly. Just get yourself to a place where you're able to be in your own space and be quiet and just enjoying it. So I hope that this all helped. I hope that this all tied together. I'm hoping that you guys are not like, what did she say? But I'm hoping that it makes sense. If it did, give it a thumbs up. And also, if you guys have questions or if you have any other tips, make sure that you leave it down below. But like I said, I hope that this helps you guys. I hope this gets to whoever needs it the most. I love you guys so much. I hope you guys have an awesome, awesome day. Be safe, stay blessed, and remember to always, always treat yourself. Peace out.